we can test for B12 and we can test for active B12. So active B12 tells us how much B12 you're actually using, right? So a person may have a high B12 level, but the active B12 is actually the methylated form of B12. And so if a person has issues with methylation, right, then they would not be able to efficiently convert the B12 into the active or the usable form.
Okay.
So in a lot of supplements, you may see your B12 as methyl B12, which is the best, or cyano B12, which is synthetic B12. When it gets into your body, it still has to be methylated to be converted into methyl B12 or methylcobalamin, right? Cobalamin is another word for B12. And the B vitamins are very, very important at numerous processes in our body. And if a person is going to supplement, I would recommend a methylated or a bioactive form B complex, right? So that you know that you're getting the active form of the B vitamin.
Right.
So,
and this is why you see some people going to the doctor and they get B12 shots. Mm-hmm. I know we've heard of that.
Yes.
And why would a person need a B12 shot as opposed to an oral vitamin? Can you explain that for our listeners? What happens in our body why can't I just take it in a pill form? Why am I having to get a B12 shot? What's going on in my body when it gets to that point?
Right. Well, you could have either. If you're getting a shot, it's going directly into your bloodstream. It's not passing through your gut. Right. So if you have digestive issues, right, not be able to absorb all that good B12 that you're taking orally. So when you get a shot, it's going directly into your bloodstream.
Okay.
So if a person has a mutation in the MTHFR gene, right, which 30 to 40%, yes, Shannon does. I have one, there are two mutations in particular that we look for. So one is mild, one is, more severe. So about 30 to 40% of the U.S. population has a mutation in the MTHFR gene. So the mild mutation. But still, it makes your methylation process a little bit slower than if you did not have a mutation, right? So it's, the methylated B complex would be the preferred supplement. Anything you want to add, Shannon, about?
As a result of my blood test, I am on additional B vitamins. And I've noticed an increase. I'm not quite as tired as often. And by as often, I mean every single day, all day long. I don't pop up in the morning. I never have been like, yay, let's get up and, a morning person, if you will. But there's been, for a long time, for a lot of reasons, not relevant to this podcast, it's just harder and harder and harder to get out of bed. And I do not function. We mentioned earlier, what's more important, sleep or exercise? I don't sleep. Absolutely sleep. If I don't get sleep, I not only exhaust my body and it functioning well, but now I'm pissy too, because I'm tired. My ability to keep a straight face and keep my mouth shut goes out the window because I'm exhausted. So it's very important to get the right B vitamins into your system well. I can't stress that enough.
Absolutely. I agree. The B vitamins are super important. So we will provide probably at the next podcast perhaps some links or for the methylated B vitamins. It can be. There was a point in my life when I just could not take there are some really huge pills that the B complex comes in, and I could never swallow it. But now there are capsules, that's very easy to swallow, and it comes as well in lozenges. So the methyl B complex or methyl B12, both. So it's very easy to take, and it's super important. So I'm glad.
Yeah. And we might provide some links for that. We also have an isotonic form that I'm familiar with that I take, which is a liquid form that comes in an isotonic formulation. And that, again, it bypassed digestion because the isotonic form, once it leaves your stomach, it goes directly, into the small intestines and into the bloodstream. And that's what it is. These people aren't able to digest and break down and methylate the B vitamins as well. So finding it another form it's not just important, it's kind of vital. I think Shannon was trying to tell us this is a big deal. And I do see this a lot in my clients. What I love about your lab, Dr. Geer, is that you test for this. You test for this. You say, hey, your methylation process is not where it needs to be. You did test for the mutation. And so I don't think a lot of people even know to ask for that. It is more popular now than it was 10 years ago, but that's super important to ask. And if you're one of those people that's just been struggling and you're taking vitamins and you're eating as well as you can, I highly recommend getting your blood test done to find out if you test positive for the mutation and check out what your methylation pathways are to make sure that they're open and working. And if not, like Dr. Geer said, get on something that's going to support you, because they are your brain vitamins. They're your mood vitamins. They affect your digestion. They affect your hormones. They're
your sleep, your neurotoxicity.
Yes.
So the B vitamins, all of them, they're key cofactors in so many different metabolic processes that go on. So you're
huge.
Right. It's not just important. It's vital. That's actually
it's vital. And we tend to blow it off. We're like, I'm not going to take a vitamin. And I don't blame people, because if you've taken a vitamin in the past and you haven't gotten positive results, why would you want to waste your money and your time doing that? So what I love about these blood tests is that you don't have to guess, you test, right? And we skip that part so we can say, I do have the mutation. I do need a specific type. And then you go out and you seek that specific type, because so many people are so overwhelmed and with, I've tried this, I've tried that, I've tried this. I've done a lot of over-the-counter stuff and it doesn't work, but they can be life-changing. And I know Shannon can attest to that. Some of my clients can attest to that. B vitamins affect and so does your calcium, magnesium, and your minerals.
Yes.
Absolutely. Our standard American diet does not provide the nutrients that we need. And I can't stress enough how important supplementation is. Not just a good idea, it's a necessity for health and well-being, because of the way that we process our foods. Our foods just aren't nutrient dense like they used to be. The way that we grow them, the way that we shelve them, the way that we can them, the way that we freeze them, they lose a lot of their nutrient dense value. And so I just want people to be aware, get tested for this, because people are eating really, really well and they're trying really, really hard and they're doing their best, putting their best foot forward, and they still feel like hell. A test could really be eye-opening for you. So I just wanted to bring that up, and that's why we're doing this. We're trying to encourage people to take the guesswork out of what's going on in their bodies.
Right, because how do you know what supplement you need, right? And how do you know if the supplements you're taking that you're actually absorbing it, right? It may not be in a bioavailable form, and you're spending so much money on supplements, and it may not be what you need, and you may not be able to absorb it. So
absolutely.
Getting back around to the B vitamins, if you're an avid coffee drinker, this could skew your perception on needing this vitamin, which is another reason why getting your blood test and looking at it and asking questions are so helpful. And one of the reasons why we want to take our time in speaking with the doctor this afternoon, so that you guys can have some more information and be able to ask your own practitioner some more questions that will better help you and your body.
Right. So the test you need to check for active B12. So not just B12, right? Because you always want to, if possible, test for the bioavailable form of the nutrient, right? So, okay.
Absolutely. And I want to remind our listeners, if they haven't had a chance to go back and listen to our first podcast, Longevity Labs does an at-home test kit. And that's what Shannon and I both did. We ordered the kit. It was sent to us at our home. It was a very simple blood test to do at home. Dr. Aloma has it right there. She's showing it up if we're looking at the video. I didn't, if you didn't listen to our previous podcast, this is an at-home test, guys. So if you're sitting there going, I don't have a doctor, or I don't have the time to even get into a doctor's visit, and this at-home test kit is amazing. It was so simple to do. It was painless.
Painless.
No needles. I was honestly surprised at how easy it was to do. So